Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to see Mission Impossible, the 7th installment this summer. Hi, this is Joel Rosenberg in Denver, Colorado, with a special YouTube exclusive movie review for the Rosenberg Report. I'm in Denver because I'm visiting family, and one of the things our family loves to do is watch movies. And I'm telling you, there's been some great movies out this summer. There's some duds as well. But I think Mission Impossible rocks, okay? I'm a fan of the franchise. Now, it's not just because Tom Cruise and I were born in the same hometown, okay? He was born in Syracuse, New York, a few years before me. I was born in Syracuse, New York. I don't think that has anything to do with this review or the fact that we both love thrillers. He's super successful at it. I am less so. Only 5 million copies of my political thrillers, and he's making $1 billion per movie. But one of the and look, Tom Cruise and I, obviously we don't agree theologically. He's a Scientologist. I'm a Jewish evangelical. We don't see the world the same way. He's a bit of a nut. Some people think I am as well, maybe for different reasons. But one thing that Tom Cruise knows how to do is wow an audience, okay? I'm not saying that Mission Impossible 7 is the greatest in the series, but I will say it is amazing, okay? But it's not just the incredible stunts, the huge set pieces that he does, his own stunts, and they're amazing. And the guy is going on, he's 61 years old, and he's, jumping off of, he's driving motorcycles off a mountain and parachuting into a train in the valley below. That is not something most people do for real. They might do it, some movie star might do it for a thriller on, using CGI, but they're not actually going to do it. And I think, I don't remember the exact number, but I think Tom Cruise practiced that like 100 times. By the way, that's 100 motorcycles that he trashed, but that's a separate issue. But Tom Cruise just knows how to wow an audience, and he knows that huge stunts are fun, especially for the Mission Impossible series and for any thriller, but that's not enough. You can't just have big names, big stars, and big stunts. We've seen the type of movies that just don't work that well when that's the main focus. You've got to have it character-driven, and I think one of the things that Tom Cruise has really figured out with his team, and particularly with writer and director McHugh, as he calls him, Christopher McQuarrie, is they really have worked on these characters. Who is Ethan Hunt? What drives him? What are his relationships with his team and with others, people that try to intercept him and attack him, but also with people who are potential allies? Because in many ways, Mission Impossible is not just about doing crazy, impossible things to get the mission done. It's about the relationships. And I think that, these are not going to be Academy Award-winning movies. These are not, I'm not saying there aren't other character-driven movies that are better, but what I'm saying is thrillers often don't have enough character development in them. This one, I was talking to a friend who also loved Mission Impossible 7, but his problem with it was, he said, Ethan Hunt's too emotional, he's too sentimental, he's spending too much time thinking about how to protect his friends and not just get the mission done. I disagree with that. First of all, I think that Ethan Hunt's love for his friends is a strength of his. Yes, it gets him into problems because if he just let his friends get killed, maybe he would get his these missions accomplished more efficiently. But he does care about individual lives. He's not just he's not just in it to win it. He has a team that he cares about. And in this case, I think also Tom Cruise is becoming sentimental about this series because this is it. They were making the last 2 movies simultaneously. While they were making 7, they were also making Mission Impossible 8, and that's going to be it. There will be no more Mission Impossible movies, at least with Tom Cruise. This is the end of the franchise with Cruise in it. I mean, how much longer can he perform at this level? But it works. Now, of course, 7 is a bit of a cliffhanger, literally and figuratively. I won't give it away. But, we're going to need to see 8 in order to make 7 work as well as it should. But I think it works. And one of the things I love, another thing I love, I guess I keep saying one of the things, another thing I love is that every Mission Impossible movie since it began in the early 90s has been better than the one before. Okay, that is very rare in a sequel. Okay, Tom Cruise and his team keep thinking, what are bigger stunts? What are more intense, bad guy scenarios? Who are more evil bad guys that we'll have to deal with? And how can my relationships with my team become more complicated, more strained, more important? That keeps that package of why we want to keep watching every minute of these films. But he's not just mailing these things in. Each film, they've given more thought, more time, more attention to figuring that out. It's not a formula. Some of it is, but it works. And each film has been better than the one before. I can't think of many sequels that are better than the ones before, okay? You try to think of where the sequels are better. I think the Jason Bourne movies were good. I'm not sure they were better than the first one, but they were all good except for the last one. That was a mistake. The Indiana Jones movies, right? There's the last one with Harrison Ford out this summer. I watched it. I didn't hate it. It was fine. But the sequels have never been as good as the original. Okay, but Mission Impossible movies have gotten better. And partly it's because these stunts aren't done just with CGI. They're done, Tom Cruise will take a year to learn how to fly a helicopter by himself, not just to fly a helicopter, but to fly a helicopter in a corkscrew in a way that you think he's going to die, and most helicopter pilots doing that would die. And he wants to be alone in that helicopter and have it filmed in such a way he's alone in the helicopter. That he is flying this himself, and that there's real peril to him. When he jumps out of airplanes, when he halo jumps over Paris, he's really doing that. And you can see the level of skill and intensity that Tom Cruise puts into this, and audiences love it. That's why these films make $1 billion or more. But we're coming to the end of the road. And I think it is a little sentimental for Tom Cruise, and I don't think that's a problem. One other thing I want to mention about the Mission Impossible series, and I think about Tom Cruise generally. It's certainly true of the Top Gun movies. Top Gun, the original from '86, and then Top Gun Maverick, which is one of my favorite thriller movies ever. Tom Cruise is pro-American, and he doesn't apologize for it, right? Top Gun back in '86 was the first U.S. military movie that didn't hate the U.S. military or hate the country. Okay, the Vietnam War was horrible, and most of the movies that were made during that period in the '60s and '70s were dealing with the problems, and they were real problems in the American military. But it became to be a Hollywood truism that the military was horrible, and that the country was horrible, and its leaders were horrible. And Tom Cruise said, let's make a movie that celebrates what's great about America. And that became a huge hit and changed the future of thrillers, not all, but the ones that were going to be most successful. And Top Gun Maverick. Now, Tom Cruise hasn't gone woke. Maybe he is personally. I don't know him. But in the movies, you'll remember in one of the first trailer that came out for Top Gun Maverick, Tom Cruise is putting on the leather jacket that he wore in the 1986 film, okay? But what did we all notice? We noticed that in '86, he had a patch on the back of that leather jacket from Taiwan, the independent, democratically elected leadership of Taiwan, not the communist Chinese. But in the first trailer for Top Gun Maverick, that had been blurred out and changed into some weird thing that it wasn't Taiwan. Why were the filmmakers doing that? Well, we all speculated that because they wanted to sell the movie into and show it in communist China with 1.5 billion people, that you make a lot of money that way. But there was a huge outcry about it. And even though Tom Cruise didn't announce, okay, that was a mistake, he realized it was a mistake. And by the time the movie really did come out, the Taiwan patch was back on the jacket. It's a small point. But my point is that Tom Cruise, so far, at least in his filmmaking, I'm not talking about his personal life, his personal politics, but in his filmmaking, he has primarily been very pro-American. Yes, there are problems in America. He deals with them, but he celebrates what's good about America, and I think that's why so many Americans are responding, certainly one of the reasons that I do. I encourage you to watch Mission Impossible. That is your mission if you choose to accept it. I hope you do. And this is a YouTube exclusive from Denver, Colorado. I'm Joel Rosenberg for the Rosenberg Report.